get down.
G'day and welcome. Welcome to all the viewers watching live and all the replay listeners. Tonight we are celebrating a big happy birthday to GDU. Woohoo! We made it. We made it. All right. I did have well, I won't say little because it's quite large and I'm actually having troubles playing it live. So I did have a video for you all, but I think it's just going to have to be relegated to social media. So what I might do is I might post that after the show. And I'm just going to give it a little go while you're all here still logging on. I can still see a few of you have logged in already. But let me just try. Just going to try one more time. And you let me know if you can see. If you can see and hear this. Is it in here? Is it in here? Let's have a look. No, not in there. What about over here? No, not there either. Let's have a look over here. No, can't see anything here either. Okay. Hang on a minute. I think I found it. Found it.
G'day PCE and the Geocaching Down Under podcast. I'm coming to you live. Well, not live, actually I'm pre-recording it, but I'm coming to you from the new...
Okay, I thought that was going to happen. So can hear it but can't see it. That happened in testing as well. Oh well, best laid plans. Anyway, I will put that on social media so you can all see it. But basically, I asked my Patreons and sponsors just to do a little happy birthday video. So I will just get that on social media so you can all see it later. But let's move on with the show. So tonight I am chatting with AngelG27 and we're going to be talking about some puzzle solving techniques for beginners and some strategies for tackling puzzle caches. So once again, feel free to chat amongst yourselves in the chat room, keeping it PG. This is a family show, so if we could keep that way in the chat room, it would be muchly appreciated. We've also got another winner for the GDU calendar photo of the month for August, so hang around and don't miss out on that one. We've also got some more cool prizes to give away later, so make sure you stick around for that. I did the social post earlier in the week, so you should know what is coming your way. I'd like to thank our Patreons and a special thanks to Laney at LK Consulting Group for the marketing, mentoring, coaching program, John and Di from geostuff.com.au for ongoing support with prizes each month. Thank you very much. Special thanks to my mum who does cover some of the cost of the show. And let's see who is here tonight live with us. Alrighty, we got Tank Engine. Woohoo! Choo choo! Joining us live. Thanks for joining us live, mate. Who else have we got here? We've got Hev Walker, DTY, John Marshman. Well, hey, thanks, mate. I've got your little merchandise here sitting beside me, ready to go. Darren Archer, Houston, Texas Dave. My goodness, I feel like the chat room's just full of all the Patreons tonight. That's so awesome. All here to celebrate the birthday. That's so cool. Who else have we got? We got Donut Holes. G'day, Kim. Thanks for joining us. GeoKid, NQ. Thanks for joining us, mate. That's awesome. Ben M70 and Kingfisher AU all the way from the Hunter Valley. Thanks for joining us. Another Patreon of mine. Thank you. Team Astro, welcome. Enjoy the show tonight. Jess Cleese. Oh, lovely. You'll be on your way out to Quoggum soon, I would imagine. That's getting very close. That's right. All righty. Yes, thank you, Houston, Texas Dave. This is the birthday show. That's awesome. Woohoo! Darkside Dan. Darkside Dan is here. Oh, dear. That's awesome. Oh, all right then. Well, who else have we got? Fred Jones. Thanks for joining us live. And Aquilus One managed to make us live. That's awesome, Lisa. Thank you. Hopefully you're all on the couch with a big glass of wine. Ah, that'd be good. Greg and Jen. That's awesome. Nice. Thanks for joining us. And Rod, even Rod's made another one on my Patreons from Queensland. That is so cool. Darkside Dan, you've already got your random number in. You're getting ahead of yourself. All good. All good. All right. Well, we do have a big show for you tonight. So let's get on with the show and we'll get started with some news.
Hey, PCE, how's this for a location? Beautiful. You know what? This is my new backyard as well. Anyway, what have you got for us for news?
Alrighty, okay. So, as you would have all been aware, just recently we had Geo Woodstock Canada, which was on the 13th of August, and the HQ celebration, which was on the August the 20th. They were just recently done and completed. I know a few Aussies went over there for that. I've seen some of the awesome pictures, so that's really cool. Next one we've got is the Queensland Outback Geocaching Muster, or QUOGM as it's known. This is the second last one, and it's going to be held in Charleville between September 29 and October 1. That one is GC9 V9CK. You can go to the website, check out all the details, or you can go back and watch my last episode where we went through it in detail so you know what you're doing. Following on from that, we have got the Geocaching Victoria, the Whittlesea event. So that one is GC8EW40. That's the one that's going to be on the 20th of November down in Whittlesea in Victoria. And following on from that one, we've got the Rutherglen event in, you guessed it, Rutherglen. That one's GC9MH9M. That one's going to be in Rutherglen in Victoria, and that one is the 6th to the 8th of April next year. So obviously. And so you can get planning for that one. And following on from that, next major event that has been announced is the Capital Geo Bash. That's going to be in Canberra on the Easter long weekend of 2024. So make sure you save the date. There will be some social posts coming out pretty soon, I would imagine, so people can get organised. There we go. So that is a quick run around of the events. Now, in terms of souvenirs, we have got the locationless cache still available. That's available for the end of the year. That one is GC8 Neat. That one is available. And Cash In, Trash Out Season 2 has started. So that one is September 1 through to November 30. If you attend an event or host an event, you can get a souvenir. And there it is there. Let me get rid of that. There we go. So that one is the Cash In, Trash Out. Let me get rid of that one there for you. Following on from that one, we've got Signals Labyrinth. It's a bit of a tongue twister, that one. Signals Labyrinth. That started on April 4. You've got to find geocaches, adventures, and mysterious bonus items to earn souvenirs, helping Signal make his way through the labyrinth to HQ. And that's going to run for 12 months. So you've got until April next year. You've got a chance to earn 2 souvenirs every 2 months for Signals Labyrinth. Help him escape and get yourself that souvenir there. If you get all of the 12 souvenirs, you'll get a additional meta souvenir. So that's pretty cool. Don't forget, next month, International Earth Cache Day. Let me just pop that on the screen for you. Where is it gone? There it is. International Earth Cache Day. That is October 8 and 9. So you've got a chance to find a geocache and log it on the October, I should say, 8th or 9th. And then following on from that, to finish off the year, we're going to see the Goodbye 2022 with the 6 days from December 25 through to 31 to get another souvenir. There we go. So that is all the souvenirs. As I say, we do have a big show for you tonight. So let's get right on into that one. And yeah, let's get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, muggles and geocachers, a big g'day from USA. I'm coming to you from New Jersey, and I do miss you all. Meanwhile, is that time of the month, the time for PCE and the Geocaching Down Under podcast.
That's awesome. Alrighty, thank you very much, SMS. So, as you know, I am Purple Cache Eater, and tonight I'm joined by my special guest, AngelG27, and we're going to learn about some puzzle-solving techniques for beginners and some strategies for tackling those puzzle caches. If you've got any questions for AngelG27, put them in the chat, and I will try to get them displayed on the screen. But without further ado, here is AngelG27. Welcome.
Hey,
Yeah.
Kitty. Glad to be here.
Oh, good. So happy to have you here. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm really looking forward to learning some puzzle solving techniques.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I think I have Kitty Catch to blame for this. So if she watches this episode, I think I owe her one, or she owes me, or something like that.
That's all right. She's not back in the country yet. We might be able to organise something.
Indeed.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's just do a quick little intro for people who don't know you. Tell us what's your caching name? Why have you chosen AngelG27?
So actually, I started caching with my real name, which is Annie G, with a 27 on the end. But then I saw, like about 100 caches in, I saw that no one was using their real name. Everyone was just making these like weird sort of names, and I thought, well, I can't be the only one in Canberra caching with my real name. So I modified it at about 100 caches to Angel G. So Angel is reflects my surname a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Quick change in name. I've done the same, as we all know. Oh dear, that's awesome. And so, how long have you been geocaching for?
So I found my first cache in June 2014. So I guess I'm a young geocacher by some standards. Sort of 8 years now. I found my first cache with my son, Hypo Hippo. Thanks, Houston Dave. With my son, Hypo Hippo, and another cacher, Joey Loves Treasure, who's quite well known here in the ACT. She was my mentor for the first little while, and a great mentor she was, introducing me to all the tips and tricks and rolling of caches and what to look for, rolling of logs, and what to look for and all of those sorts of things. So very glad to have her as a mentor. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's great. So how many finds and how many hides do you have?
So I have about 9,200 finds. So sort of pretty slow and steady, 1,000 or over 1,000 a year. Surprisingly, actually, 2020 was my best year of caching. Not quite sure how that worked out with COVID, but anyway, very weird. And I have 45 hides in place at the moment, as well as I've hosted a number of events. Actually, I quite like hosting events. They're very social.
Yeah.
And these days I try to put out caches that not for the numbers, but for the quality and for the experience of people.
You sort of get that with experience, I find. You know, when you start out, you just want to find another one and get those numbers, and then as you get into it, it sort of gets a bit same, and then you really sort of enjoy the quality ones. So I know what you mean.
Yeah, I like putting out caches that people like to find, because I know what I like to find as well. So
yes, that's right. There you go. Well, Susan from Facebook, she says that your events are great. So
I do try to put on free food, so that probably helps.
Yeah, I find that got to bribe people with food.
Absolutely, it's a low bar sometimes.
That's all right. We're pretty easily pleased, you know. Sausage sizzle will do. So what first got you into geocaching?
That was my mum, and I think she curses the day she introduced me to it.
Yeah.
She actually had heard about geocaching on an ABC program and said, "Oh, this will be great for my son and me." She thought it would be a really excellent thing for us to do together, and it was for a year. My son Hypo Hippo and I went out and cached for a year, but then, you know, teenage sons, you know, their interest wanes a little bit. So he's no longer caching, but I just kept on, and my mum just thinks it's crazy that I'm still caching. But anyway, them's the breaks.
I reckon you must be about the third or fourth guest I've had on this year, just on the show, who said the same thing, you know, started with their children, or their children got into it and then they stopped, and, you know, then the adult or the parents carried on. It's quite amusing.
Yeah, and I can see that I'm not the only one in the chat either who has that experience as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Even Houston, Texas, Dave says, my daughter introduced geocaching to me. Is she still geocaching, Houston? Tell me. Let me know. I find it quite amusing. All right, well, seeing as we do have a big show, if you are ready, let's get on to the reason why I've got you here tonight and share some puzzle solving techniques with us. So let me put your little presentation on the screen there. There we go. And when you're ready, Angel G, I'll hand over to you.
Thanks very much, PCE. Some people might recognise some of this presentation. I actually hosted a puzzle solving event quite a few years ago now, mainly because I didn't know anything about puzzle solving, and I actually wanted other people to come along and teach me how to do some puzzle solving. So I actually got some other more experienced puzzle solvers along as well, which I very much appreciated, and indeed I did learn a lot, and actually there were quite a few hints in that presentation as well for people who attended. So anyway, so this is just easy get started type of puzzle solving. Nothing for experienced puzzle solvers here is going to be a surprise. So let's get into it. So I think for new puzzle solvers or people newly into puzzles, I think the first thing to do is to probably just choose your puzzle really carefully. Have the lower difficulty ones, perhaps something you're familiar with, like books or movies, and something that's sort of fairly straightforward to see in the page what you're actually dealing with, nothing too hidden. Look for hints. The name of the cache, the description, the cache owner, all of those sorts of things can give you good hints to start with, and then start with some of the easier types, which could be like internet puzzles or simple ciphers or something like that. Mm-hmm. Look for patterns or clues. In terms of what information you're looking for on the puzzle page. Are you looking for 15 coordinates, which is what we look for here in the ACT, or 15 numbers, I'm sorry, for the coordinates, or are you looking for just the minutes, or are you just looking for the decimals? You know, and so that will give you a hint as to what you might be looking for on the page as well. Are there 15 sentences or 15 paragraphs, or are there 6 objects or 6 paragraphs? Some of those things might be give you a hint as to where to start. Sometimes the posted coordinates can also give you a bit of a hint. Sometimes they're good parking, but sometimes they're a little bit more than that. For the last many years, actually, the posted coordinates for puzzles at least need to be within 3.2 kilometres of the actual cache. So that will also help you discount some of the options that you might come up with.
Sort of a bit of a self-checker that if you're further than 3.2 kilometres from the original, you know you got something wrong.
Yeah, or if your coordinates put you on the house or in the middle of a freeway or something, that's also potentially a dead giveaway that you haven't got it quite right.
Yeah.
The fake coordinates can also give you a hint. You know, if it's on a street that's called Maze Street or something, I don't know. That also might give you a hint. Not so common, but that's also an option as well. Sometimes coordinates are hidden on the geocache page, so that could be in white. In white letters on a white background, or it could be on the source code of the page. Coordinates could be hidden in the description in particular ways. Coordinates can actually also, or hidden information can be hidden in different parts of the page as well. So not just the page that you're looking at, but they could be hidden in waypoints, or they could be hidden on a TB that's been a trackable that's been associated with the cache as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I have actually in the past failed to do basic things like look at images and look at waypoints. So there's a hint there for everyone. You know, learn by my mistakes, and make sure you look at all the parts of the description. Darkside Dan has got some good hints there in the chat as well. So call a friend sometimes is a good idea too.
Yeah, that's it.
Remember that sometimes you're not just looking at the same coordinate systems. There are a number of other coordinate systems that people can use. Apart from the ones that we're familiar with, it could be UTM, or it could be what 3 words, or it could be GeoHash. There's any number of different coordinate systems at the moment. And sometimes the trick is you have to look at a description and figure out which 3 words, for example, might be the ones that you actually need to pick up. But hopefully the cache owner has given you a little bit of a hint about where you need to look.
That's right. Yeah, if you need to convert them or something.
When you're looking at images and pictures associated with a geocache, you can look at the hidden data, like the EXIF data on the image. Sometimes just the image properties can give you the coordinates as well, which has been quite an obvious way to get coordinates occasionally. There might be a photo editing system that you need to use. There might be a hint that tells you to use a particular type of editing system for a photo. Look for a hint to use particular software. Coordinates can actually be hidden on the picture themselves, or hints or ideas can be hidden on the picture as well. So blow up the picture and have a good look. Change the colors, change the brightness, change the contrast.
Yep.
And sometimes, of course, you can, some cache owners use steganography, which is hiding another image or other information inside a photo. But you do need to have the right software if that's the case, which can be pretty tricky if they haven't given you a good hint on that one.
Yeah, that's right. I know that quite often people don't do that if you need specific software, especially if you've got to pay for the software too.
Yeah, I mean, most cache owners are pretty good, and they'll give you a hint as to what software you need to use to access that. But that's sort of higher level puzzle solving, and I would certainly think there are more experienced people out there than me who can assist with that. Sometimes actually you need to look at the color information associated with, if you've got blocks of colors, for example, it might be that you need to figure out what that color is, and you look at the RGB value, sorry. Look at the shapes. If there's shapes, you could look at the colors or the sides or the corners or something to do with that particular image that you're looking at. Sometimes common objects have easy numbers associated with them. For example, billiard balls, dart balls, resistors, for example, are quite frequently used as well. Sometimes you need to also break out the scissors.
Oh, I've done that.
Yes, certainly when I see something like that, I actually need to print it out and pull out the scissors, but I know people who are much smarter than me who can manipulate the image like in their heads and figure it out. That's not something that I can do, but yeah, scissors will do sometimes.
That's it, yeah.
Barcodes, sometimes you need to actually build the barcodes before you actually scan them. Sometimes
I've seen one of those.
There's a couple of them here in the ECT. You'll have to have a bit of a look-see. But sometimes the barcodes don't give you coordinates; they just send you somewhere else. So it might be a multi-stage type of puzzle. Yeah.
Okay, and if it sends you in the wrong direction for solving the puzzle, they call that a red herring, don't they?
Yes, there's a few caches that have that. That is true. You need to pursue perhaps more than one line of inquiry sometimes to figure out which ones are the right ones and which ones are just sending you on a little roundabout sort of journey.
Or a bum steer, as I like to call them.
Could be that too. Where are we?
What amazes?
Substitution ciphers, they're lots of fun. Repetitions and puzzles, sort of repetitions and patterns that you can see. Sometimes they're pretty straightforward. You can just do straight substitutions. If you see, even if it's just symbols, you might be able to sort of see like a couple of symbols together, for example, and you might be able to go, oh, maybe that's a 3 or something. And then you can actually try and work backwards from that. I've done that with a few puzzles when I haven't been able to work out the particular cipher involved.
Mhm.
And sometimes you can guess if you're really sort of stuck getting the last number. Sometimes you can just use a checker, which might help you just get that last number
Yeah.
in place. I have also done that, not strictly the way the CEO I expect wanted the puzzle solved, but sometimes it will get you over the line.
Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes, as I said, sometimes you can guess the last numbers. There are plenty of simple substitutions out there: Morse code, Roman numerals, different bases, different picture images like pig pen or semaphores or something like that. They're pretty straightforward type of substitutions. I'm actually having trouble seeing my last dot point on my slides, but that's okay. But in these cases, I think that the entire cipher is it's encoded in the same way. So there are sometimes puzzles where there are different ciphers employed to give you different clues. Or I have seen one where actually each number was a different language as well. So they can get pretty tricky and take a bit of effort to pursue.
Yeah, I've come across one puzzle just locally around me here on the Central Coast, and it's maybe sort of 10 lines of languages, but it's 4 different languages on the one document, and you've got to figure out first off what the 4 languages are, and then decipher it, and it's just taken ages. It's just really tricky.
It does, and to be honest, Google sometimes isn't your best friend on that. In that instance.
And a lot of like similar, and then it throws you off, so you go off on that tangent when it's similar to what you're actually wanting.
Yeah, that's right. It's very easy to get distracted with those sorts of puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
So there's different sorts of ciphers. I'm not going to go through this in a lot of detail, but there's pretty straightforward ciphers where each letter represents the same letter in the code, like ROT13 or any of the rotational ciphers. Semaphore, Morse, Caesar, Dancing Men, pig pen, all of those are sort of pretty straightforward to decipher. But as I said earlier, they might not decipher to coordinates. They might decipher to another cipher, for example,
Yes.
or something a bit more complicated with some of those higher D puzzles. So you definitely want to stick with, as I said earlier, just stick with the lower D ones to start with until you get a bit of an understanding about how to do those solves, and then what the next steps might be as well.
Mm-hmm.
Only 4 languages, says Ben M70. Indeed. I think I've had one where there were plenty more.
Oh my.
Sometimes you'll need a keyword to solve a cipher. Sometimes the keyword might be really obvious in the text or in the hint. It could be the CEO's name, or there might be a hint that leads you to a keyword which will help you crack the cipher. There are a few tools online, but the problem with tools is you sort of need to have a bit of an understanding about what you're looking at and what you're looking for to use those. But yeah, definitely lots of tools online for those who are sort of interested to go down that track.
Yeah, I found that myself. Sometimes I come to a puzzle and it's new to me, so I don't know the name of the puzzle or the cipher, or like I just don't know where to begin, so you just sort of start typing in, random words, trying to narrow in the search of what you're looking at.
Yeah, and sometimes you need to do quite a bit of searching and a bit of random guessing to sort of find a path that sort of looks promising.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Word puzzles. Many word puzzles will be familiar to caches that actually do things in real life apart from caching. So word finds or crosswords or anagrams are frequently used in puzzles here in the ACT. Many puzzles will tell you what to do. For example, if you solve a word find, you might have leftover letters that you have to do something with. Sometimes those letters are the coordinates. Sometimes they're the next step. Sometimes they don't give you the words that you actually have to find, and you have to figure out what words you have to find as well. So there's a number of different ways of using what is a familiar type of puzzle and mix it up a little bit, I think, to make it a bit more interesting for people.
Yeah, that's right. I've just got a comment here from Jess joining us on YouTube, and she said some cache owners use a few different types of puzzles, ciphers mixed inside another puzzle, and she says, sorry, I'm guilty of doing this myself.
Yes. I mean, that was one of my concluding points I was going to make, is that when you get into the higher D puzzles, you might have several steps, and you might have 4 or 5 different ciphers, or a word find followed by a cipher, followed by something else, and then an internet search at the end as well. So there are a number of different ways of putting all of those different types of puzzles together as well, which can be really confusing. And sometimes they're really well disguised as well. Sometimes you think, oh, this looks pretty straightforward. This looks like some sort of location type of coordinate system. And actually it's not. It's actually something completely different. And so you need to not always go with your first assumption, but test those assumptions as well.
I find it hard, like you say, you have an idea and you try it and it doesn't work. I find it hard to then try and think differently. Obviously the way I'm thinking is not working, so try and think a different way. You come at it from a different point of view. I find that particularly tricky.
It is really hard. And I think one of the slides I'll get to pretty shortly is about actually working with other people sometimes to actually get different ideas, or sometimes putting it down and coming back to it later with fresh eyes as well. And you go, oh, actually, maybe I could do this instead of that.
Yeah,
and that sort of helps to break your thinking just in that particular route.
Moment.
Yeah. So Thomas has made a good point that actually sometimes puzzle solvers, it's sort of a bit of a guess what I'm thinking type of puzzle. And they can be really tricky because they might not give you a lot of hints as to what you need to do, or the flow through the puzzle isn't very logical. And so they can be pretty tricky. And we have had a few of those sort of land in the ACT, which challenge puzzle solvers, that's for sure. But certainly most COs who are kind, and I know there are many kind COs in the chat tonight, will give you hints and ideas about the path to take to solve a puzzle. So, where are we back to? Word puzzles. So many different ways of doing word puzzles. Simple ones are things like the start of sentences, for example. The letters could, the starts of the sentences could actually spell out words.
Right.
I might have a puzzle that has the start of sentences, but it's actually not. They're all mixed up, and you've got to actually go away and figure out what the actual words are. There's a hint there for one of my puzzles. Or just letters that are capitalized, or that can translate into numbers, or are misspelled, or people's names, for example, might give you a hint as to what direction you need to take in a particular type of puzzle. And there are plenty of story puzzles here in the ACT. There's some cache owners here who are very good with words and very good at putting them together in such a way that it's very hard to figure out what they're actually looking at until it drops.
Yes. And isn't it funny? Once you've worked it out, you're like, it was so obvious. Why didn't I see it earlier?
I know. In retrospective eyes is always it's always good to look back and why didn't I see that? That was so obvious. That's right.
So obvious.
Yeah, why didn't I look for that image in the
Yeah.
first place
Yeah.
when I was looking at trying to solve this puzzle, for example?
Yeah, I find I really make it way harder than it actually is.
Yes, sometimes that is true, especially if you're used to solving really difficult puzzles and then you come across an easy one and then you overthink it. So that's I think we're all guilty of that. So, but I see that Thomas has suggested a double gin, which would also alleviate the overthinking. I expect it might.
Then you would be thinking in hieroglyphics, I think.
That's right. You might be well positioned to solve some particular sorts of puzzles.
Might be on the same level, the same language at the same point.
That's right. So sometimes words are hidden in the text or disguised. So you might have words to get like a crossword clue where words are hidden within the clue. And also it's worthwhile remembering that English is not the only language used in geocaching, and there are many caches out there that actually rely on other languages to get you the answers. So some of them are obvious and some of them are less obvious than others. So where are we up to? There we go. Check your answer. We're coming to the end here, guys. I know I've whizzed through this really quickly. I'm really sorry. I should have sort of taken a bit more space. But anyway, so map your coordinates, see where they land. You know, if they land on a house or in the middle of a freeway, as I said, you know, they're unlikely to be right unless there's a tunnel underneath the freeway or it's under a bridge or something. But essentially, you know, have a look and see what makes sense. Or if it's landed too close to another cache, you know, if it's within 161 meters, you go, yeah. I need to have a look at that. Use the coordinate checker or the checksum if that's provided.
That's handy.
Although I have had a situation where I had the right numbers, but they were not in the right order, and the checksum did not help me one little bit.
Okay, I can see. All right. Can you just quickly, I think everyone here is pretty well seasoned, but can you just explain what a checksum is for people who, if they may not know?
Oh, sorry. Yes, you make a good point there. So sometimes the cache owner will put in a number. So it'll say south equals 25 or something. And if you add up all the south digits, so 3 plus 5 plus 1 plus 8 or whatever it is, they all add up to 25. And that will give you a really good steer as to whether you've got whether your calculations are correct, for example. But as I said, if you transpose numbers in the wrong way, that doesn't always help you. A lot of caches these days do have the solution checker on it, the geocaching.com solution checker, and that makes it really easy to tell whether you've got it right or wrong, and also very happily corrects your coordinates for you so you don't make any errors in transcription.
And luckily, geocaching headquarters have made that much easier to put on the geocaching page now, so that's even easier.
It is. Sometimes if you see another checker on a puzzle, you might have to think, well, what is the cache owner getting at here? So some of the other checkers accept not just coordinates, but they might accept words, for example, and you have to find a keyword to put into the checker. So that's often a bit of a hint is if they use like a geocheck or something, then they're not after a coordinate, they're after a particular keyword or a sentence or something. So you can check your answer with a CO or a previous finder. I know a lot of COs actually really appreciate people reaching out to them. Rather than going to previous finders. So I guess you just take your pick as to what you want to do or how friendly you are with the CO or friendly with previous finders. But it is always good to have a go yourself first and make sure that you're just not reaching out for a hint if you've got no idea. I think it's really good
or you haven't even started.
or if you haven't even started it, I think everyone appreciates it if you have had a go and you can show people what you've already done and what you've tried, because what you've tried actually might be on the right track. You might not have taken it far enough, or you might have made a mistake or something. So there are ways there that you can actually do a lot of the work, but you've just made a mistake, and a previous finder or a CEO can really help you there. So yes, certitude, definitely.
From YouTube has just said, always happy to help people solve my puzzles. The caches are there to be found after all. So yeah, most people are willing to give a prompt or help.
Absolutely. Not when it's first to find, not when people are sort of rushing to get the first to find on a new cache, but certainly I think after that there's cache owners can be pretty generous. Although we did have one cache in the ACT that took over 2 years to be solved. So
wow,
there were no hints given for that one, and I think the cache owner was quite happy for it to sit there and be unsolved.
Wow. Oh, there we go. I've got another comment on Facebook here from Julie Wright. She said, we have a 7-year unsolved puzzle, and she's over in Western Australia, I believe.
Yes, I know there's one in the middle of Melbourne as well that is also not solved. So I think like caches, cache owners come in all different shapes and sizes. And certainly I think, it's great to have your caches found as a cache owner. I love having my cache found, and I love reading the story that finders have, in terms of how they solved it or how they didn't solve it or how hard they found it. So that's sort of part of the journey that a cache owner likes to hear as well. So certainly, if you've solved something that is very, very difficult, or that hasn't been solved at all or for a long time, then you should really give yourselves a pat on the back.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think Kim says there are quite a few in Melbourne, and yes, there are. I've seen a few there, and I have just looked at them and gone, yeah, nah.
Putting that firmly in the too hard basket.
Yeah, family, jobs, travel, I can't spend 100% of my time trying to solve a cache.
No, that's right. There we go. I got Ozfox from Victoria. He said there are about 4 unsolved puzzles by the same cache owner in Melbourne. Obviously, really like a hard puzzle.
They do. It's obviously very challenging, and us mere solvers are not up to the challenge yet.
I often wonder, like, when the people make a really hard puzzle, whether they themselves would be able to solve it, Like, have they just got slightly different thinking to us, or have they purposefully made it really challenging?
It's hard to tell. Some of those puzzles are the guess what I'm thinking type of puzzles. And so there's really no clues or indications of how to solve those. So that's fine. Like, everybody plays the game differently. But as a cache owner, I actually like to see my puzzle solved, and I'm happy to help people to solve them.
Yeah, we're all here for enjoyment, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. I think we've sort of covered that slide pretty well. Where are we? I've sort of covered most of that already, though. I think you do have to be careful how you log your cache, though. And this is, I think, seasoned puzzle solvers know this already, but you just need to be a little bit careful that you don't give away too much in your log. Especially if it's a D5 and it's a very difficult puzzle. There are, I think there's sort of like I think sometimes clues that you see in retrospect once you've solved it, and you go, oh yeah, those are quite interesting ones, but actually they don't help you to solve it on your journey to do the solve is actually the right sort of way to log some of those more difficult ones. So you don't want to give away the answer. You don't want to undermine what the CO has set out.
That's right.
For other people. Yeah. And I'm always very happy, and you'll see it frequently in my logs, that if I've had help from someone, I will go, I got some help from a previous finder on this one.
Yeah, Absolutely. Yeah. Credit where credit's due and all that.
Yeah, or solve this as part of a group or something like that.
Mhm.
Just to make sure that you're giving credit, but you're not giving away the
Giving it away. That's
answer.
right. Yeah, that's right. But Houston, Texas, Dave watching on YouTube, he says, I try to make my puzzles at the level a kid can solve.
I like those ones. Thank you. I'll have to come over to Houston, Texas to solve some of your puzzles.
Yes, I reckon we might be able to do those ones.
Yeah.
And I've got Jess Cleese also from Queensland. She said, I love having people message me about our caches, and especially with our upcoming geo art, because I know she's heading out to Quoggum. So, yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's society. It's being social. It's being part of the community. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and geocaching is a community like any other community as well. So I've got a slide here that says last thoughts, but actually I have a couple of extra last thoughts after this slide. So I think this is the last one though. So there's different ways of working on puzzles, and I guess it depends where you are in your geocaching and what sort of person you are as to how you want to do it. Some people just want to go in and break the puzzle themselves until it's solved and just like put hours and hours into it. Other people like to work with others and do joint efforts and throw around ideas to start with. Some people like to do some work and then get some hints on the hard bits, or some people just like to get the answers. There's all sorts of different ways of working on puzzles. But I do really appreciate the community that you get from people who work together to solve puzzles. Your puzzle mates become your friends too. So that's a nice way of thinking about it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's really important to remember that this is just a game at the end of the day. And not to get too hung up about things. Like we all get upset about, things that we, in the game, it's like playing Monopoly, You're getting all the hotels. Why are you putting hotels on? Or whatever it is that you don't like how other people play the game. But, everyone plays it differently, and just remember it's a game and play it as fairly as you can, and with fun and good humor, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got a couple of comments here from the chat room. Jessica said, we have solving sessions, so they have get-togethers. Nothing better than team solving. That's right, because like you said before, is people think differently, and people are coming at it from different life experiences, so that they see things or something makes sense to them that doesn't necessarily make sense to others.
Absolutely. I'm actually quite good with word puzzles, but I'm actually really bad at other sorts of puzzles, like manipulating images and stuff like that. And so having people with different skill sets is actually really helpful. It builds your skills, but it also builds your confidence and gets you to the end of a puzzle as well.
Yeah. And that inspires you to keep trying.
Mm.
Right, yeah. Hev Walker and Sandy down in South Australia, they're often trying to solve puzzles together. We have a laugh or two. That's good. Good. And then I've got Andrew Bush here from New Zealand. He says, I like to make my puzzle cache solves a little quirky. One was called Salted Pork and Ham, and it was based on a cipher to do with spam emails. So, yeah, themes are good. I like themes.
Yes. Well, indeed, salted pork and ham would be spam, indeed. and there are a couple of puzzles that I have solved that are spam related. So perhaps I'm just trying to think whether I did any in New Zealand or not. I think they were in Australia, but anyway. So
yeah, and as Jess says, I'm better at writing them than solving them. Aren't we all?
We're all there.
We're all there. Darren, he really likes solving puzzles about triangles. There you go.
Each to their own.
That's it. Yep. As you say, some people are really good at image manipulation, and like yourself, people are good at word games, and so it's all different.
So I've just got a couple of last thoughts.
Yeah, go for it.
just to share. So there are a lot of really great puzzle solvers out there in the ACT and elsewhere, and I'm not one of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
This was sort of about beginners puzzle solving, and certainly I feel like I can probably help there. But so if you wanted to have a more advanced type of show on puzzle solving, I think there are plenty of other puzzle setters and puzzle solvers out there who would be able to really be absolutely on spot for you in terms of getting into some more of the nitty-gritty. And I very much appreciate the opportunity to work with some of those CEOs and also to work with other very clever people in terms of solving puzzles. And then there are also, I wanted to say, plenty of puzzle series out there for people to learn from. So there's one in the ACT called the L plate and the P plate puzzle series, which is located in Mulligan's flat. The first case in that series, and thank you PCE for putting that on the screen, is GC8 Q6QC. I was just trying to look for the words there, and I've sort of lost them in the.
For the last half hour, you've probably.
That's right. I've got a drink of water here. I'm looking forward to it. So those and those sorts of series will take you through different sorts of puzzle styles and give you lots of information and build your confidence to do new puzzles. And I noticed there's actually a new puzzle series in Northern Victoria called the Brolga's Bills Puzzles, or the BBP set of puzzles, which is actually happily located right near Rutherglen, which is where there is a mega next year in April. Certainly that I think that series is also is going to be very helpful for new puzzle people new to puzzling to take a look and sort of learn some of the tips and tricks of working through puzzles.
Right. Well, I've just put that on the screen there for everyone. So that one's located in Victoria. It's the Brolga Bills Puzzle Series, and that's GC9NJH9, GC9NJH9. And as Angel G says, it's a good way to get an introduction into puzzle solving as well.
Absolutely. I see that Martin in the chat has said that he has a puzzle in New Zealand that hasn't been found in 6 years. So I think there's definitely there's a challenge there. I think you've put one out there for us.
Absolutely. I wonder, Martin, do you think of maybe just putting some really tiny little hints in just to give people a bit of a nudge in the right direction? You know, it must be so frustrating. You put a puzzle out in 6 years, nothing's happened. Just put some sort of little teaser out there just to get someone on the way. I don't know.
And Jess from the chat has also pointed out the Cully Long book as well, which is for puzzle solvers. And I should have it here. I don't know why I don't have it here. Which is also, there we go, How to Puzzle Cache. Thanks, PCE. And that gives you lots. It not only helps you solve puzzles, but actually it gives CEOs really great ideas for new puzzles as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, pages and pages and pages of ideas in there.
Yeah. And Heidi's got some great advice. Actually keep really good track of your workings, because the workings that you do for one puzzle will definitely help you for another puzzle. That is for sure.
That made me think of another piece of advice I had is I solve a puzzle, I put it in the checker, it says right, bam, away I go, find the cache. 2 years later, I'm talking to someone and they say to me, oh, I see you solved that puzzle. How did you solve it? And I'm like, I don't remember. That was years ago. So I found, writing yourself notes, keeping them in a folder, or if you're on Apple device and you're on Cachely, you can put it in your personal notes section, or there's even notes sections on gc.com itself. Put your workings out in there.
Yeah, actually, and those note sections are very generous in how much you can put in there. So I used to keep a book of all my
Okay.
workings for the first couple of years.
Mhm.
But nowadays, I just put everything into personal notes. So it's there. If someone desperately needs a hint or they've made a mistake, I can sort of help them get them back right on track. But it's really nice to have all that information in your personal notes.
That's right. I see Sandy from South Australia. She says the same thing. I always put it in the personal notes on the cache, and so has John Marshman. He said every puzzle I solve, I use my personal notes section. So yeah, that took me a while to learn that lesson, to actually write notes and keep notes.
Yes, yes. Yeah, written notes to start with, but I've long since lost my book.
Yes.
But the personal notes are there forever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and Heidi said MS Word is your friend. Screenshots, it's the same. Diane, personal notes are great. What do we got? We got Susan here, one of my Patreons. She says, I use geocachingadmin.com for all the internet sites that help with solving puzzles. That's another good tip there for everyone out there. Yep. And then, GeoKidNQ, he uses the note sections on his Mac. So, keep a note and, won't forget. So that's good. That's awesome. All right. Well, did you have anything else to share with us tonight, Angel G?
Oh my goodness, no. I have run out of words.
Excellent. We've exhausted knowledge for today.
That's right. People are welcome to sort of go back and have a look at the. I don't know whether you can put the presentation up somewhere, or if people want to contact me about using the presentation for if they wanted to do a puzzle solving night or something like that. I'm happy to share. It's we all play the game.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're a pretty generous bunch. That's lovely. Thank you for that, Angel G.
And thank you so much for inviting me on.
Oh, you are very welcome. I needed an expert for this section as I am new to the puzzle caching myself. I'm one of those people. If it's above a 3, you can forget it. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm still on the lower runs of the puzzle solving. So
Yeah, I'm certainly wouldn't class myself as an expert. I know for a fact there are people in this chat who are way cleverer than me at puzzle solving.
yeah, there are some really clever people out there. Yeah. I've got a comment here from Bevan Burns joining us on Facebook. He said he's got a series MIK that is made up of different puzzles, and they're located in Western Australia. And one of the GC codes there is GC9KZDC, GC9KZDC. So if you want to check that out, Bevan in Western Australia, he's got a series there that should be a great help to you as well. Go. All right. Yes, that's right, Texas. Great tips, Angel. Thank you very much. Go. And Martin, I'll just pop that one up there for you. Okay.
So Martin has provided a hint. Thank you, Martin.
Hint is copy. Okay. Oh my goodness me. You have to watch the replay and go over that one, I think. That's right. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Head. That's awesome. Alrighty. Well, you stay with me, Annie. Don't you go anywhere. And we're going to move on to the next section of the show. So we'll move on to the photo comp, and we'll announce the photo comp winner for August.
Do you think I've got a chance, do you reckon? What for? How about the calendar photo of the month? Let's see this month's winner.
Yes, SMS. Thank you for that intro. And you wouldn't believe it. But we have had a winner picked. I checked it the other day just to make sure I was right. And you won't believe it. You think this one is rigged, but the winner is SMS with his photo at GC6TM2Q, and this is a picture at the Anzac Memorial in Hyde Park, New South Wales. So that one there won with a few more votes than the others. So congratulations, SMS. Good job. Thank you for submitting that. Excellent. Oh dear. So we will see your picture in the 2023 calendar. So I will be in touch with you. You might be waking up soon, so that's pretty cool. Oh dear. All right. So the next photo comp is up and running for September. Just need to go over to Facebook. You can see that there. Let me see if I can get rid of this. Nope. Awesome. All right. So that picture there is pinned to the top of the Facebook page. Put your photo in the comment section with a little description. Include the GC code and the title and a little bit of a story about it if you've got one. If not, all good. Tell us about your experience while finding that geocache. Yeah, the good little repository there of good geocaches to find. So if you've got a chance, do that. You must be the owner of the picture. Or have permission from the owner to post it. Pop it up there, and if you're lucky, you'll be chosen as the winner and put in the GDU 2023 calendar. And I will race on now to the travel bug race update. So not much of an update here, but for those who are new and haven't heard, at the beginning of the year, myself and Patrick from Found It Podcast, we each released a travel bug into the wild, and the mission was for each travel bug to get to the other person. So Patrick's is on his way to me, and mine is on the way to Patrick. So we haven't actually decided what happens to the winner. I think it might just be bragging rights at this point in time. But GDU goes to Sweden is there. It hasn't moved. So it is still in not South Australia. It's in Victoria even. That one is in Victoria. It's stuck in Pining for a Postcard, which is GC2G781. You can track it using the TB code TB9RZBF, which is on the screen there. Or if you're in the Victoria state and you can get to GC2G781, collect that one for me, send it towards an airport or something, some sort of transport depot, and let's get that thing moving. And Patrick's is still stuck in Sweden. I think it's a little bit closer to an airport than mine, but it is in the hands of Bashrag, so they've got it. So they haven't logged anything of that for a couple of months now. But with travel opening up, I'm hopeful. You can follow that one on TB9JA1W, and you'll get the notification when that one is moving again. But let's move on. Let's move on to some prize time.
Oh, say, can you see? PCE, I heard that geostuff.com.au, that's right, geostuff.com.au is your main sponsor. How cool are they? Thank you so much to John and Di from geostuff.com.au. I heard you got some prizes this month. Let's get to the prizes.
That's awesome. Thanks, SMS. That is great. All right, so let me pop on the screen here the prizes. Prize number 1, no surprise here. It is How to Puzzle Cache by Cully Long. Now, this one is the 2nd edition, so it has a few updates in it since the first release. This one has been very generously donated by GeoStuff, one of my major sponsors. So thank you to John and Di. They are joining me in the chat room tonight, so thank you very much for that. So this one here is prize number 1. Now, I know you all love it, so I'm bringing it back. We're going with the Wheel of Names. I know everyone loves this game. So if you are in the chat room, I am going to share my screen here with you. Let me get organized here. Okay, so that's not going to work, is it? Because then I lose everything else. Okay, let me share my screen here. Please hold. Thank you. There we go. Alrighty, have a little look here. See if your name is on that screen there. I'll make it bigger. There we go. I think that's about as big as I can make it. Ben M7, yes. Good job. Not number 26. All Houston. Keep your lucky number 18 for later. All right, have a quick look there. See if your name is on that list. I have been trying to get your names down for everyone who is participating in the chat room. But I have a sneaking suspicion that I don't have 50 names on there. James, yes, late arrival. Pop you in there, James. Oh, James, you're in there. Who else is there? Adelaide, Oz. Oh, sneaking in. Adelaide, Oz. Some of them are upside down. Adelaide, Oz. Sneak in there. Heather. Joe, no, you're not on there, Joe. I didn't see your name, so you are not on there. G-O. Joe, Hev Walker. I think you are on there. There's Scramping. You know what? Let's just get some music happening while sort this out. Geocaching down under, that love to get found. No, can't see your head. Have Joe, you're there. Blue Wattle, please hold. Apologies if I have spelled your name wrong. Great with speed typing. Rachel Kent, what's your geocaching name, Rachel? Pop it in the chat and I'll add you in there. Must be getting close to 50 odd names on that list, I reckon. Richery, thank you. Richery, you are on there. Cool. Rachel, Flirting with Danger. Oh, that's a good geocaching name. Flirting with Danger. That's awesome. Doomy16, thanks for popping that in there, Doomy16. Go. Excellent. Richard. You are welcome, Rachel. Alrighty, I think we have now got everybody in there and we will get spinning. So let me just refresh your memory real quick. So we are playing for prize number 1, which is the 2nd edition, revised and updated, How to Puzzle Cache by Cully Long. This is a very good prize, worth over $50, I believe. Could be making that up. Who knows? That's right, dance party music, birthday spin. That's great. Andrew Bush. I don't think your name is on there. Let me put on there, Andrew Bush. Great. Alrighty. So I think everyone is there. Let me put that back on the screen for you all. And we will get to the Wheel of Names. Lovely. Alrighty. Okay, let's go. Okay. About $40. About $40 worth this book. Still expensive, but worth every penny. Every single penny. Alrighty. Annie, give me a countdown and we'll get this wheel spinning.
What do you want to count down from?
Just a 3.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Woohoo! Round she goes. Who's it gonna be now? Get out of town. It just ticked over. Yoo-hoo! That's awesome. Scramping. Okay, Scramping, you have won the... this is too tricky. You've won the Cully Long book. So congratulations, Scramping. You have that book on its way to you. Let me know real quick if you can. There you go. You're welcome. There she is, Scramping. Very handy indeed. That's right, Kim. Cool. Alrighty, let's get on. So let me... Stop sharing that for half a second while I jump around. Okay, so prize number 2. Prize number 2 is the GC New South Wales Geo coin for 2022. Let me tell you a little bit about this coin because there's a bit of a story to this one. So this geocoin pays tribute to a recently retired and long-serving Australian geocaching reviewer, Tiddalik. Riblet, as he was known back in the day, became Australia's third geocaching reviewer back in 2004. Over the next 18 years, along with the change of name to Tiddalik, he would go on to publish thousands of caches while steadfastly ensuring that geocaching guidelines were being adhered to. Ex-reviewer Swamp Gecko has said Riblet's biggest attribute is his integrity. There was no compromise without a reason, and it had better be a well-reasoned one. So Geocaching New South Wales would like to thank Tiddalik for his remarkable 18 years of service to our community of geocaching. The 2022 GeoCoin honours and celebrates Tiddalik's commitment as Australia's longest-serving geocaching reviewer, and the GeoCoin has been custom designed by geocacher Noisy Peter in the shape of the state of New South Wales with the association's logo and mint year on the side of the reverse, a green frog with Indigenous-inspired green dot art which utilises an ombre effect. The wording Riblet Tiddalik 2004 to 2012 acknowledges Tiddalik's important role in our community. There you go. So that is the story behind this year's GeoCoin. So I have been very graciously donated one of these to give away from the president of the Geocaching New South Wales Committee. So thank you very much for your generous donation. That is awesome. Yes, it is a really lovely, beautiful coin. That's right. Upside down, another great prize. Nice coin, lovely coin. That's right. So, did I say 2012? Whoops, I meant 2022. I should say 2022, not 2012. There you go. Excellent. Okay, so we are going back to Wheel of Names. Here we go. Alrighty, and we will get to spinning for you all in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Where she stops, nobody knows. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's ticking around. Who's it going to be? Oh, I spelled that wrong. That's supposed to be Andrew Bush. There you go. Andrew Bush in New Zealand. Good job, Andrew. You've got the Geocaching New South Wales 2022 GeoCoin. Excellent. So that one is on its way to you. I will get some details there from you, Andrew Bush. But congratulations, you have got the 2022 Tiddalik GeoCoin coming your way. So congratulations, that is awesome. You are welcome, mate. You enjoy that GeoCoin. Only one in New Zealand with one, I reckon. Oh dear, that's right. Congratulations. That's it. Another fellow reviewer coin. It's pretty snazzy. Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to prize number 3. This one is a little bit closer to home. It is a Dark Side Dan path tag. Alrighty, so this is the last one in my series to give away from Dark Side Dan. This is an exclusive limited edition path tag. He has given me special permission to give away these, and he is joining us here tonight in the chat room. So thank you very much, Dark Side Dan. We're going to give away one of your path tags here. So let me get back to, which is funny because you're on the Wheel of Names. So if you win your own, path tag, I'm spinning again. Let me just tell you now. Excellent. So we're back. Alrighty. Annie, when you're ready, give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1, take off.
Oh, I missed. There we go.
Dan says he wants to win his own path tags.
That would be hilarious. He can post it to himself. Who's it going to be? It's Jess Cleese up in Queensland. Woo-hoo. Is it Cleese or Cleesy? I'll have to figure that one out for next time. Anyway, Jess, you have got the Dark Side Dan path tag coming your way. Let me pop that back on the screen there for you. Excellent. Limited edition path tag exclusive to GDU for giveaways. So congratulations to all the prize winners tonight. I will be in touch with you and let you know what's happening with those and get some details. So you are very welcome, Jess. You enjoy that path tag. Hopefully you've got a path tag collection that you're building up. That would be cool. Alrighty, so moving on from there. All right. Well, my plans have been disrailed a little bit because I can't play the video, but let me just do my shout out thanks, seeing as we are in the happy birthday special celebrating 3 years of GDU. So as I have slightly explained, I got a few of my Patreons to do a little video just wishing GDU a happy birthday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post that on Facebook at the very minimum, so you can all see that there, because it is quite a large video. It goes for about 7 minutes, because I did have quite a few Patreons send me a video. So thank you very much for that. So I just wanted to say thank you for your kind and supportive words. It makes me so happy to get such supportive feedback. I, in the previous host, want to thank you for watching and supporting us. We only do this show for you. We do donate our time and efforts to bring you a bit of entertainment and some Aussie-specific geocaching content. And I couldn't have done it without my major sponsors. So Lainey at LK Consulting Group, thank you for the marketing, mentoring, and the coaching program. Thank you for pushing me to take on this challenge. I know I was very nervous to take it on. You wouldn't believe it, but I am actually a shy person. I really wouldn't have taken this on without you. So thank you very much. You've been one of my greatest supporters in doing this podcast. So thank you very much. Thank you for lending your creative genius to the podcast. And if any one of my watchers or listeners is looking for someone to coach you with your marketing or to do some marketing for you, you really can't go past Lainey. I know she's my aunt and I'm a little bit biased, but I see the work that she puts out and all the hard work she puts in. So reach out to me. I'll make an introduction for you, and it will really be worth your while. To my next major sponsor, geostuff.com.au. Thank you once again for your ongoing support. Both John and Di, I know you're here tonight, so that's awesome. You've been with me on this journey from the very beginning when Tattooed Squared and myself took on the podcast, when we took it on from Craig. So thank you very much for your generosity. It continues to astound me every month, and I have loved having you with me every step of the way. So thank you very much. My mum, she has managed to join in live tonight. So thank you very much to my mum. She has been covering some of the cost of the show pretty much from the very beginning as well. Another one of my biggest supporters and fans. Thank you very much for all your love and support. No matter what wacky idea, I know you're behind me. So thank you very much. And if you can, when you get a chance, I'll post the video later tonight after the show, and you can all pop on and have a look. Some people really went above and beyond with their dedication videos. So I really thank you. When you see the video, you'll know what I'm talking about. Some people really push the boat out. So thank you very much. I appreciate all the effort. And it was really fun to pull that video together. So thank you very much. Thank you, Diane. You are amazing yourself. So thank you very much. And Hev, really appreciate all the kind words that everyone has said. And yeah, like I say, put this show together for you. Continuing on from Craig's idea of getting some great Aussie geocaching content. So thank you very much. And thank you for everyone. And Annie yourself, thank you for being a supporter all the way along as well. I know you've been here from Craig days, so from SMS's times.
That makes me sound very old.
I know, right? Here we are celebrating like 3 years. It's not that long ago, but anyway, that's right.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's right, Darren. You can only smash that like button so much. Thank you, Jess. That's awesome. Thank you. And like the show is now, I've got a Patreon from Sweden. I've got a couple of Patreons in America. We've got people in New Zealand watching. We've got people from Norfolk Island watching. Like it really is starting to become an international program. So it's really cool. I'm really enjoying it. So that's awesome. Yeah, that's right, Oswald. Here's to many more. That's right. Excellent. Okay. All right. So speaking of Patreons, let's do a shout out now to some Patreons and let us get to that one.
Just before you leave, PC, I've got to say this to all those out there listening. A big thank you so much for continuation of your support for the Geocaching Down Under podcast. I think Purple Cache Eater, or as I call her, PCE, is doing an absolutely fantastic job. Now, if you think she's doing a very fantastic job as well, and as you should, then maybe you can skip one coffee a month, and have a look at Patreon. Go to patreon.com/geocaching down under. If it's not that, then she'll put the link there somewhere. So make sure you go to Patreon at like $3 a month, less than a cup of coffee, and you can help support this particular good old down under Australian podcast. I know I'm a Patreon.
That's right, SMS, one of my first Patreons, once he handed over the reins. He was straight in there, didn't want to miss out. Definitely had FOMO. So thank you very much to our Patreons. There is quite a few of you now, which is super awesome. And you keep the podcast going. So quick shout out. See my show, Kitty Catch, Kingfisher AU, Snappy Tomcats, Julie, Darren Archer, Captain Riverman, DTY73, Wollaston, Banj 5150, Houston, Texas Dave, Founder Podcast, Tim Casho, Hev Walker, James 0116, Darkside Jan, Scramping, Mighty Minions, Lee 737. Also got Geo Joe. She is one of my newer ones there, and I've just lost my place on my screen. That's fantastic. Tattooed Squared, he has now become a Patreon after being a co-host. Contesta, Gliss, Allied Oz, Arnott Family, Cosmonaut 97, Isopeda, Oz Glory, Pilot Jen, Roddy C, Young Old Fella, and Tank Engine. Thank you very, very much to all of you. Really, truly appreciated. Your funds go towards running the podcast and bringing you more great content and some little extra bits and pieces. I know some of my newer Patreons, you do have your stuff on the way, so I've got it ready to go. I've just got to get to the post, but that is awesome. There you go. Thank you very much, Dave. Appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, lovely. And thank you. Happy birthday from Dark Blue. Thank you. And thank you, Darkside Dan. I know you're an awesome supporter of the podcast as well. That's great. Excellent. Alrighty. So don't forget, join us live every month so you can join in the chat room. Love seeing all your comments in the chat and getting your feedback. Thank you if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay or even if you're listening on your favorite podcast app, you can watch the replay on YouTube or Facebook or listen to the podcast via your favorite podcasting apps. If you like tonight's show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Hit the notification bell. You can join us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Don't forget, if you've got a cool story, you can send that in to geocachingdownunder@gmail.com. I can read that out on the show. Or if you just would like to be a guest, please reach out to me. I'm always looking for new and interesting topics, and I can make it happen. Even if I am fully booked, I will find something somewhere to fit you in. We can always do another special. So you can send me an email, geocachingdownunder@gmail.com, or send me a message through any of the socials. Once again, thanks to my sponsors, thanks to the Patreons, thanks to the near and the far for tuning in every month and making the show an adventure. And a big, big thank you to you, AngelG27, for being my guest and expert here on the show tonight. It's been great fun and educational having you on the show, and I'm sure we've all learned something. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, PC, and I wish everybody a good evening and dry weekends to go caching.
Absolutely. May the geocaching gods be with us. So the next show is going to be on the 11th of October. So make sure to put that in your calendar. As I say, hit the reminder so you get a notification. I'm PCE from GDU, and it's been so much great fun. And remember to get lost to get found with GDU.
Geocaching down under, get lost to get found. Geocaching down
And
under.
we're going to fade that out because that song gets stuck in my head frequently. Catchy, that song, actually. Awesome. All right, let's see who is hanging around in the chat room like a bad smell. Got here, Houston, Texas. It must be nearly ready for you to get up and get moving for the day, surely. Like at least 9 a.m. by now. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you very much, DTY. Appreciate that. And yes, big thank you to AngelG. Thank you, Darren. Thank you. Thank you, Jess. My goodness, I feel like the chat room is Full of Patreons. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us live. 5 a.m. There you go. Nearly ready to get up and attack the Jay.
Or get 2 more hours sleep.
That's right. I know what I would be doing. Ozfox, thanks for sticking around, mate. That's awesome. Oz Glory, thank you for joining in live, and hi to Matt as well. That's awesome. Thank you. Team Astro, thanks for joining us live. Sandy, lots of fun. Oh, good. As I say, I'll post the video on Facebook so you can all see it. James, you did quite a great photo as well. Excellent. I will talk to you later, James. That is awesome. John, you're very welcome. And Isa Peter, nice one. Thank you for your videos. And yes, that's right, Jess. 5 a.m. starts our thing. Well, there you go. Oh, dear. Geocaching early. That's right, Houston. Priorities. Awesome. All right. Well, as I say, what's it, 9 o'clock now? The outtakes were hysterical. We should have done a blooper reel. Mind you, the video is long enough as is.
It was so long we couldn't play it.
It's so long. Our poor technology couldn't handle it. Dear. Excellent. No worries. Cool. All right. Well, hopefully everyone has had a fun-filled and entertaining night. I can't believe it's 3. It's crazy.
Just toddler years, really, PCE. Just
That
toddler
is,
years.
yeah, we're just starting to get up and walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, dear. Have a great day at work, Allied Oz. Thanks, Amanda. You too. Thank you for tuning in live. Appreciate it. See you, Rod. Have a good evening. And thanks, Kieran. Appreciate all your support and help. That's wicked. Alrighty, everyone. Well, you enjoy the rest of your evening. Angel G and I think we're going to go and dive into a glass of wine or something like that, or just dive into bed, really.
I think
But,
Thomas suggested a couple of gins, and I think that might be the way to go.
Excellent. I like the way he thinks. Oh, dear. Thank you, Any Mules. That's awesome. And
Just message me at geocaching.com, AngelG27, and I'll get a copy of the presentation to you.
cool. Excellent. Alrighty. Thank you very much, everyone. And as I say, we will see you again on the 11th of October. Hope you have a great night and have a good geocaching weekend. And yes, looks like it's gins all around. Started something. Excellent. Oh, thanks, Team Casho. Better late than never, mate. Have a great night, everybody. And thank you very much for joining in the birthday celebrations. And I'll get that video posted soon. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night.